Back with the second league, and we are playing the 5-color Zenith deck. So this is a value soup pile of cards similar to the control decks, but it's specifically built around having access to Green Sun Zenith, so it's slightly different than the soup piles, but they're kind of doing the same thing regardless of which one you're doing. So we have Swords to Plowshares for removal, Brainstorm for brainstorm stuff, Delighted Halfling for ramp / making our legendary stuff uncounterable. We've got Orcish Bowmasters, because why not? Green Sun Zenith to tutor Dryad Arbor, Halfling, or other green cards in the deck. Then the green creatures we have to search for are Leovold, Uro, and Slogurk. If you're not familiar with Slogurk, 3 mana Simic 3/3 trample. Whenever a land is put into your graveyard from anywhere, so fetch lands for example, put a +1 counter on Slogurk, remove 3 +1 counters from him, return him to his owner's hand, and when he leaves the battlefield, so dies, gets swords, or you just bounce him with his own effect, return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. So you can return fetch lands or the one of Wasteland in here. So this is here basically instead of Life from the Loam, which would be in like the control version of this deck. Then of course we got 3 Fairy. We've got Hull Breacher as like another Leovold essentially. We have 2 Minskin Boo as our top end value card, 4 Force of Wills of course, and 2 Leyline Bindings. So I guess the notable differences between this deck and something like the control deck is Halfling Zenith, green targets for Zenith, and no Beanstalk, no Life from the Loam. So like it is different than the control decks, but when it actually plays, but on the surface it does look pretty similar to those. Land base, just a bunch of lands, fetches that get various rainbow colors of things that we need, along with the one of Dryad Arbor for Zenith and a Karakas. Karakas can also do things like bounce your Slogurk to your hand, bounce your Uro to your hand while the escape triggers on the stack, etc. And then in the sideboard, we have for spells, we got Spell Pierce, we got Pyroblast for the blue decks, we've got Narset as yet another piece of Hull Breacher Leovold tech, 3 Surgical Extractions as Graveyard Hate along with an Endurance, 2 Veil of Summer, we've got Collector Oof and Seeds of Innocence, and 3 Force of Vigor for artifact decks. And that is the deck. So let's go to the second league of the day with 5-color Zenith. All right, we're on the play for round 1. This hand's pretty weak. The Dryad Arbor is in our opening hand, which means we can't Zenith on turn 1, and then... But we do have Zenith on turn 2 for Delighted Halfling into a turn 3 Minskin Boo that's uncounterable. So it is decent, assuming our opponent's not like a combo deck, but, you know, I'll keep. I wouldn't keep this if I were on the draw. So they're a Yori on deck, and their name is Orzhov Control. I wonder what they're playing. So how do I need to sequence my lands? All right, Verdant Catacomb, go. Snow Plains, Bowmasters. I think it's still better to just Zenith here. Although the fact that they just played Snow Plains and passed means this is probably Swords to Plowshares. So yeah, let's just run out Bowmasters. So what lands do I need to fetch? Bayou / Scrubland / Underground Sea. I want to grab a green source for Zenith, so I want to grab Bayou and then like the other colors, right? So Bayou, Tundra, and then I still need a red source. Our red source is Taiga, so if that's the green source, then I want to get Taiga, and then I want to get Underground Sea, probably, or Taiga plus Scrubland. All right, let's pass to them. Another Plains. All right, well, fetch, grabbing Taiga, fetch, grab Scrubland, cast Bowmasters, target them. All right, untap. There's nothing to Zenith for on 2, so I guess I am just Zenithing for Delighted Halfling this turn. So let's go Misty, go to combat, attack with these guys. No response, eh? All right. Let's just Zenith for 1. Is that even worth it? I'm thinking like we get to play Minskin Boo next turn anyway, and these Zeniths can just go grab better things. Yeah, all right, let's just pass. No actions from our opponent. Wasteland, okay. Guess I should have Zenithed. Thalia. Really guess I should have Zenithed. Well, play Dryad Arbor, play Delighted Halfling, and pass. Plays a Gonjo. So is this just black-white D&T? Is that all this is? Or just mono-white D&T, I guess? I guess I'm just assuming they're black because of Orzhov Control the name, but they could just be mono-white D&T. Swords to Plowshares on our Halfling. Sure. Mom. Apparently not Zenithing earlier is going to really punish me. Evoke Solitude, exiling Skyclave Apparition. Hits, I'm going to assume Dryad Arbor. Yeah. All right. Okay, so it's just D&T. Ooh, Bowmasters, kill this thing. Zenith for... No, I still can't Zenith. Oh, no, I just got to kill Mom, right? Yeah, I got to kill Mom before that gets out of hand. All right, so fetch, Underground Sea, cast Bowmasters, target Mom, and then we'll just pass. Even though, yes, Thalia is taxing us, but like if we don't just kill Mom now, then they just have protection forever. Recruiter of the Guard. Tutors up Extraction Specialist. Sure. All right, I have to fetch so I can Zenith for 1. So I need white for Teferi. I should make sure I have green in case they Wasteland Taiga. So grab Savannah, and then Green Sun X is 1. And then I have to pay 1 more. All right. Green Sun for 1. Go grab Delighted Halfling. And then pass to them. Extraction Specialist, get back Mom. Drew a land. Okay, so I can play Minsk and Boo. And so I got to get Mom off the field, basically, right? If I play Minsk and Boo, I can fling something, but then I have to block so that Minsk and Boo doesn't die. Although I may be able to just draw enough cards with the hamster anyway. I don't know. Now let's just play Minsk and... So Minsk and Boo, I'll have these unblocked. I'll sack the hamster to kill Mom. Yeah, all right. So fetch, grab Bayou, cast Minsk and Boo, trigger, make the hamster, and then sack a creature. So sack the hamster and target Mom. So Mom dies, we draw a card, and then we pass. This is at 1, so they can attack it, and then we can chump to keep it alive. Attacking here. All right, I'm going to trade this and then chump block Thalia. First strike, then regular damage, trade with the Extraction Specialist. Opponent plays Spirit of the Labyrinth. Okay. Minsk and Boo, make a hamster. We drew Bowmasters. That is awesome. All right, so Bowmasters kill Thalia, then play Teferi, bounce the Spirit of the Labyrinth. Yeah, so Bowmasters, kill Thalia, play Teferi, bounce Spirit, then put counters on Boo, combat, swing. Oh, I should have played this land. Whatever. We're so far ahead. If I were them, I would have just scooped by now. Flicker Wisp, flicker the hamster, sure. All right, make a hamster, plus Teferi, play a land, put counters on the hamster, swords this. I can Zenith for Uro at instant speed with 4 mana. So let's go to combat, attack with everything. No blocks from them. They go to 11. All right, pass. They're attacking Teferi, sure. Teferi goes to 1 counter. Spirit of the Labyrinth, respond, fetch, grabbing Tundra, cast Green Sun Zenith for 3. Zenith for Uro, trigger. I'm extremely surprised they haven't just scooped it up by this point. Like, all right, yeah, Spirit of the Labyrinth resolves. Mother of Runes. What's the order that you do this in? Sack creature when you do, deal X damage to any target, X is that card. If the sacrifice creature is a hamster, draw X. So I can't kill this and draw the cards with Minsk. So do not make the hamster. Do Delighted Halfling. All right, well, we can just keep putting counters here, right? And it's trampling them to death. So plus Teferi, put the counters here, go to combat, attack with everything except for Delighted. Spirit of the Labyrinth blocks Bowmasters. Mom blocks Bowmasters. Okay. Opponent's at 3. Cast Uro from the graveyard. Blue, green, green. Escape, exiling, not lands. So swords, Bowmasters, 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 all land. Uro, trigger. All right, play another halfling. Over to them. Seriously, why not concede at this point? Like, it's just wasting everyone's time by not conceding. Evoke Solitude, pitch Yorion, just force it. All right, Minsk and Boo, no. Go to combat, swing. Because he's up on clock and it could get grindy in games 2 and 3. Yeah, but, like, it's not taking me that much time. Like, come on. We're just wasting time here. All right, D&T. So Spell Pierce, no. Narset, no. Surgical, no. Pyroblast, no. Veil, no. Collector, oof. Presumably they have Stoneforge Mystic, and we just didn't see it. And maybe Aether Vial. So I think it's fine as a 1-of tutor target. But outside of that, I don't care about anything else. So what's the worst card here? So they don't draw extra cards, especially because they themselves are playing Spirit of the Labyrinth, which means Hull Breacher is not good. But that's basically it. Is Force of Will bad? I mean, it's a little bad, but like I have nothing else to really bring in for it. I guess Narset. Force of Will is relevant if I need to like hit Thalia or something. So it's not an irrelevant card. Yeah, all right, let's just have that. 2 Force of Wills, 1 land, Delighted Halfling is really not very good. So what would I do? I would fetch Savannah so that I can sword something, or fetch black to Bowmasters. If Delighted Halfling dies, the hand's dead. Let's just mull this. All right, this is fine. So keep, put back. I want to play a land every single turn. So if I put back Forest, right, I Zenith. I play Trop Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Next turn, Caracas Teferi, maybe. Depends. We also have to take into account Wasteland and Thalia taxing us. So I probably don't want to get rid of land. So that means either Brainstorm or one of the 2 Zeniths. I'm going to put back a Zenith. I think you could make a reasonable argument for a bunch of different cards there, though. Plains. Opponent definitely taking a long time here. What was that we were saying earlier about they were trying to run out the clock? I guess they're trying to make things fair and tense, right? I should thank them for making the match more exciting. by bringing their clock down to our level. All right, Aether Vial. All right, Trop, Zenith for 0. Grab Dryad Arbor, pass. Second Plains, Stoneforge Mystic. All right, so what are they getting? Trailblazer's Torch, the initiative equipment. Man, Teferiing that back to their hand would suck. The alternative is Teferiing back Aether Vial. They could also just already have Cauldron in their hand or something. I'm definitely running out Teferi. Yeah, bouncing Stoneforge here doesn't seem good. I mean, I could bounce it and then they can just vial it back in. Let's just bounce Aether Vial. All right, back to them. If they want to Stoneforge this in, that's fine. Attacking Teferi, sure. Teferi dies. So I guess they didn't have anything else in their hand. Snow Plains, 3 mana. Recruiter. Am I supposed to counter that? I think so. I think I'm supposed to counter that and then Zenith for Uro. So yeah, counter this. Oh, we just not drawing anything. So yeah, let's go. It sucks that the Caracas is already in play, right? Yeah. It's Zenith for Uro or it's Zenith for like Leovold. Leovold's okay. It's probably better just to get Uro. All right, so fetch land, fetch. We need different colors. We have double green here already. And we have a forest in hand, so I should grab something that's blue and another color. So I guess Tundra. Zenith, grab Uro, trigger. Yeah, so put a land into play. Then it dies, and then we can double fetch and have enough to escape it next turn. Replays Aether Vial. Yeah, they're going to instant speed the torch out. Sure. All right, let's fetch so we don't draw any more lands at this point. So let's grab Underground Sea. Then back to us. Drew Zenith. All right, Misty. Fetch. We're missing red mana, so grab Taiga. And then cast Uro. Green, green, blue. I'm not going to Zenith this turn, right? Yeah, so blue, blue. I think I might cast a Bowmasters if I draw it. So eat the rest of the graveyard. Holding up Caracas. Trigger Uro. Well, I did draw the Bowmasters, so that's pretty good. All right, over to them. Activate Stoneforge. Put the torch into play. They gain the initiative. We'll be taking back that initiative on our turn, though. So initiative... goes and fetches us plains. All this stuff goes off. They are scrying. 1 top, 1 bottom. Evoke Solitude. Exile the Battle of Bywater. Targeting Uro. Caracas. Really? I would have assumed they would have had Swords to Plowshares or something there. Plays another Aether Vial. Alright, end of turn. Bowmasters. Target them. So we should be able to steal the initiative now. We should definitely be able to steal the initiative now. Alright, swords this. Go to combat. Swing with Bowmasters and the Orc. Instant speeding in... Oh, a Gonjo, sure. Alright, our opponent has conceded, so we will now move on to round number 2. Alright, well, considering our hand is Force of Will, Leyline, 5 lands, I think I can do better than that. This is better than that, so what am I putting back? I want to keep all my lands, I want to keep all my threats and brainstorms, so... Orcish Bowmasters and Leovold are kind of redundant with each other. Kind of. So I guess I'll put back Leovold. Alright, what are we up against? Prismatic Vista. Vista is usually in control decks. Island, Ponder. They chose to shuffle. Alright, Misty, go. Scalding Tarn. Brainstorm. Alright, well, we're going to try to Brainstorm at the end of their turn. So, Underground Sea, Brainstorm. 3 fairies. I guess that's all fine. Alright, Taiga, go. Sax this Tarn. Tundra. Another Tundra. So, blue-white control, but with Monastery Mentor. Alright, let's flash in Bowmasters now. Target them. Man, it's gonna suck if we play Teferi and they have Force of Will, but I guess, yeah, I mean, we just have to go for it, right? I want to keep Caracas in my hand in case I ever hit Uro, I guess. Maybe, I'm not sure. So, fetch, grabbing Savannah. Alright, let's try to play Teferi. It was immediately resolved. Alright, bounce Mentor. Go to combat. Swing with the Orcs. So, I guess it's almost certainly blue-white control, just they're not playing Yorion. Alright, Island. Well, the fact that we have a Bowmasters out punishing any extra draw spells and a Teferi out, meaning they can't counter our stuff, is pretty good. Mentor returns. Ponder, trigger. So they get the token first, and then I kill the token with Bowmaster after they draw. Alright, kill the token. They did not shuffle with Ponder. So I'm inclined to just Teferi bounce this again. So play a new Teferi, bounce Mentor, go to combat, attack here. I think I'll Zenith for a Dryad Arbor just to get more mana. Alright, pass to them. Lorien revealed cycle to get a land. I might not, though. Zenith could just be good for grinding. Comet Stellar Pup. Alright. Activate the ability. Rolls a 3, which is return value 2 or less to hand. So is it any card or permanent? Returns Ponder, so it's any card. Alright. If I get Dryad Arbor right now, it kills that. Sure, so let's Zenith for 0. Grab Dryad Arbor. Then back to me. Plus, I'm going to Uro no matter what. So let's do that first. So green, blue, Taiga. Yeah. Play Uro. Triggers. So put Caracas into play. I don't know that I actually want to bounce it anymore, but I will. All right, bounce it back to my hand. Play land. Go to combat. Attack Comet. And then we'll just pass. So they have Ponder, Monastery Mentor, and 4 unknown cards. Monastery Mentor returns. Swords to Plowshares on Bowmaster. Let's just swords this. All right, swords your Mentor. So Mentor dies, then they get a prowess token, then Bowmaster dies. Ponder, sure. All right, we drew Force of Will, so +3 fairy. Zenith for Leovold costs 4. So let's cast Uro. All right, play Uro. Trigger, draw with Uro. Put Scrubland into play. I can't Zenith for Leovold if I Caracas this back. No, I can. I have exactly enough. Yeah, all right, so bounce Uro. Let's attack with the Orc. Swing, and then back over to them. I assume if they have anything they want to do, they'll do it before attacking Teferi so they can prowess this up, and then I can respond by Zenithing in Leovold. Swords to Plowshares on the Orc token, sure. They swords the Orc token and not Dryad Arbor, or didn't... Yeah, okay, well... Swords to Plowshares on Dryad Arbor, sure. All right, well, I'm going to block that, so I'm not going to Zenith for Leovold. I'm going to Zenith for Slogurk. Zenith, X is 3, grab Slogurk. So then this blocks this, and then I get to get all these fetch lands back. Block, trigger, targeting, land, land, land. Another Zenith. All right, plus Teferi, play land, play Uro. So Uro trigger, draw a card, put a land into play, Caracas this back. All right, let's just play Uro again, and then... Actually, can I escape it right now? I can, right? No, I can't. I'm one short of doing that. Okay. So I need to make sure that I have the mana for Leovold up. So let's fetch. Tundra. Fetch. So there's still a snow island to get. All right, so Bayou. So then Uro. I'm going to need black, green, and blue, right? So this one, this one, this one. Uro. Trigger. Draw. Ooh, Wasteland. All right, well, I'm going to put Misty Rainforest into play. Then Uro dies. Then we fetch. Grab Island. And cast Leovold. Black, green, blue. Over to them. Cast their own 3 fairy. All right, force that. Okay, they've conceded to that. That was game 1. So blue-white, or Jeskai Control rather. So I want probably Blast, Narset, Spell Pierce. Is there a reason to have Endurance? I don't think so. There is a reason to have Veil of Summer though. So all of these, and then what is bad? Nothing really, right? Everything's good. So that just means I don't want Force, because grindy cards, they're also playing their own 3 fairies, so if they have a Resolve with 3 fairy, then these cards are just dead in hand. I'm also bringing in other counter spells. 2 more cards have to go. All of them are good. Yeah, everything's good, so I don't know what to cut. Let's shave 1 sword, and Delighted Halfling. Like, it ramps and fixes us and gets to the counter spells, so I don't want to cut that. Can't be right to cut Leovold, right? I'll cut 1 Brainstorm. Okay, so this hand basically falls apart if I don't hit a second land, it's the problem. So I can go land halfling, so I can get Tropical Island halfling, and then Brainstorm. Mana is like the important factor in this game. I also don't want 2 Swords to Plowshares in my opening hand. I'm gonna mull this. All right, so this can grab Underground Sea, so we'll keep this and put back... I'm inclined to say it's Brainstorm or Spell Pierce. I'll put back Brainstorm. Yeah, I'll put back Brainstorm. All right. Opponents mulled to 5. Prismatic Vista. Fetch. Island. Ponder. They did not shuffle. And they didn't shuffle very quickly as well. All right. Another land's pretty good too. So Savannah. Green Sun for 0. Grab the Dryad Arbor. Over to them. Prismatic Vista. Fetch. Plains. They're going to just kill this? Yeah, all right. Swords our guy. Sure. All right. Verdant Catacombs pass, holding up both Spell Pierce and Bowmasters. All right. Fetch. End step. Underground Sea. Cast Bowmasters. Resolves, target them. Okay, back to us. Play Verdant, go to combat, swing. All right, just pass. 3rd land, 2 mana, Prismatic Ending. Let's fight that. Spell Pierce. Ooh, Veil of Summer. Okay, I was just gonna jam Minsk and Boo, but now that I drew Veil of Summer, I'm not going to. So let's just go to combat, swing. We'll do it next turn when I have Veil open. Verdant, go. Opponent fetches. Volcanic Island. Mentor, sure. We drew the Taiga. All right, so... Taiga, fetch, trop, fetch, grabbing... Does it matter which one of these I get? I guess Scrubland. Then we'll Minsk and Boo, holding open trop. Force of Will in response, Veil in response. All right, So Veil resolves. What did they pitch to Force of Will? They pitched another Force. They make a token. Then Minsk and Boo resolves. Make the hamster. I think I just hamster, shoot this monk token, and then I have 2 blockers for the mentor. So sack the Boo, kill the token. We draw a card. Ooh, another Minsk and Boo. All right, and then we just pass to them. And then we'll just put this Orc army in front of the mentor, and then we keep booing them next turn. 3 mana, Narset. Sure. Can this hit anything? Right. Any target. Narset grabs 3 fairy. All right. Attack, block with the Orc. So then Minsk and Boo goes off. Make a hamster. Drew a land. All right, so it's definitely swordsing this. And then if I pump this and attack Narset, Narset dies, and then they go 3 fairy, bounce the hamster, right? And then the Orc triggers and kills 3 fairy. I'm also considering, like, I can play a second Minsk and Boo, right? I can go Minsk and Boo, pump this, attack Narset, second Minsk and Boo, sack the first one, do a bunch of damage, draw a bunch of cards. All right, so let's swords this. Actually, let's not do that. Let's attack them first. Okay, so pump this, go to combat, attack Narset. All right, Narset dies. Let's see if they respond to the swords, if they have Force of Will. Swords the mentor. All right, that dies. New Minsk and Boo. Keep the new one. So do not use the ability. Sack this. I guess I'm not going to shoot them. I'm just going to shoot the token. Make sure that this sticks around. All right, token dies. We draw a whole bunch of cards. Oh, and one of them's Wasteland. All right, Wasteland, Volcanic. Amazingly, we drew a bunch of lands and Bowmasters, but I mean, that's still good. All right, here comes 3 fairy. Bounce the Orc. All right, make a hamster. Draw Narset for turn. So let's do... Hang on. I'm short on blue mana. Yeah, all right. They're just conceding to that. Sure. Round 3. So I would say that this Zenith deck is the type of deck that I enjoy playing. Lots of value cards, lots of interaction, lots of decisions to make. You play all kinds of different things. The games play out different ways. You can get back from a losing position. You can snowball over your opponent. And the games go long. So let's see. If I... This is potentially a turn 2, 3 fairy or Leovold. So it's turn 1 fetch Dryad Arbor. So I fetch Tropical Island. And then... Yeah, all right. I'll keep that. Flooded Strand. Drew swords. Misty, fetch, grab Trop, play Zenith for 0. So far, we've only played interactive decks, right? I wonder how this would fare against, like, combo shenanigans. Tundra, Underground Sea, Stone Forest. So it's Esper Stoneblade, grabbing Cauldra. All right, I probably have to murder this, right? 3 fairy would be okay, and then they would just replay it and trigger it again. Or I could swords it, and then I'm thinking, like, I have 4 types in play, so I can play both Leyline Binding and swords. I can also just bind the token, right? Or the Cauldra, but primarily the token probably. No, I should bind the Cauldra because they could have Flicker Wisp or something. So the only question is... Oh, wait, no, I don't have double white, so I can't do both. Well, since I can't do both, I'm not going to play around Daze. I'm just going to jam 3 fairy and bounce it. And if they have Force of Will or Daze, so be it. And then we'll just deal with Cauldra next turn. Yeah, they do have Force of Will. All right, Force, exiling Narcomoeba. Oh, is this... Breakfast? All right, it's Breakfast. All right, we can beat Cauldra. So yeah, Cauldra hits the board. So if I fetch Taiga right now, that's all my colors. And then I can Binding for 1, but then I still am short double white. I don't care if Stoneforge is in play. So Tundra. I guess let's see if Leovold resolves. So black, blue, green. All right, over to them. It's always concerning that we can die at any moment to the Breakfast thing, though, but I can't just keep getting hit for 5 every turn. I guess I could just let them hit me for 5 again and then end of turn swords it, since I doubt they have any other pressure. Shuko. Equip Shuko to the Germ. All right, take 6, go to 8. All right, end step swords that. Daze. Sure. Well, if they just have Cephalid in their hand, then we're dead. But I don't think I can afford to really wait on this. So let's go grab Taiga. Again, I guess I don't technically have to do this right now. So Minsk and Boo. Trigger. Make a hamster. And then let's just put the counters here. This can chump some damage from this, and then we can just bind it if necessary. Very, very carefully playing around Cephalid. Tundra. All right, combat. Attacking us, so go to blocks. Block with Boo. Trample, we go to 5. Shuko, move it to Stoneforge. Okay. End of turn, binding. Bind Cauldra. Or, they might have Teferi, so they could, like, bounce this and get Cauldra back. So let's just bind the token. All right, back to us. Minsk and Boo trigger, make a hamster. I'm amazed we haven't drawn any more action at this point. All right, I just need to draw action. So let's just sack the hamster, shoot them, draw cards. All right, Swords to Plowshare is action. So over to them. Step through Wizard Cycle. All right, here comes the Cephalid. I guess the only question is, do I Cabal Therapy, trigger Leovold. All right, draw from Leovold. Brainstorm. I guess we're brainstorming in response to this. All right, brainstorm. Wow, that's just horrendous. Okay, so, oh my god, put 2 lands back. So they just get to flash back the therapy if they name wrong. But if I can't, all right, so I assume they'll just name Swords to Plowshares, but who knows? All right, therapy resolves. Force of Will. Okay, good. So they have to flash it back in order to take Force of Will before they can go off. And then that lets me draw 1 more card. Fetch. Cabal Therapy. All right, fetch with Leovold's trigger on the stack so we can maybe draw something. Oh, what could I even draw? I would have to draw the other Leyline Binding, right? Basically, that's it. Or a counter spell. So, Underground Sea, resolve Leovold. We drew another Halfling. All right, so now they win. They take Swords. And now Illusionist, and they go off. They did exile 1 Narcomoeba earlier, but I assume they still have enough to do it. May as well see their deck. All right, so this is their deck. Yeah, so they usually run 3 Narcomoebas, so they had exactly enough to get there. All right, sideboarding. Veil of Summer for counter spells and hand disruption. Endurance to stop the Oracle combo. Collector Oof so they can't activate Shuko. Seeds of Innocence and Force of Vigor because they're an Urza Saga deck. Pyroblast to kill Cephalid. Surgical Extraction. Like, everything's good, right? Every single thing is good. They don't really grind, right? They just have Stoneforge Mystic for a Cauldron, but otherwise they're not a grindy deck. Which means, what do I not care about? All this is good. Anything really grindy, right? So Slogur, cut 1 Uro, cut 1 Leovold. The Bowmasters can kill... How big is Cephalid? They're both X1s, right? Yeah, Cephalid Illusionist is an X1. Nomads is also an X1. So I do want Bowmasters. Probably can cut down Minskimbu. How good's Hull Breacher? They have some draw cards, but again, doesn't matter. We can cut that. I think with how many answers I'm bringing in, I can cut Force of Will. And that leaves what? Shaving a Halfling and 2 Brainstorm. Nah, 1 Brainstorm. Maybe a 3 Fairy. Just like shave on a bunch of stuff. All right, let's do that. Submit. I mean, all right, keep. Opponent mulls to 6. All right, Windswept, go. Misty Rainforest, over to us. All right, just keep playing lands and passing. Tundra. Well, there's Delighted Halfling, so Forest, play Halfling. Over to them. Urza's Saga. Drawing into Oof. Tundra. Go to combat. Swing. All right. May as well run out Oof. So it stops Shuko and nothing else, but stopping Shuko's okay. Urza's Saga trigger. Go up to 2. Plays Underground Sea. Okay. Well, we're drawing a bunch of nothing. So combat. Swing with both of these. They go to 16, and then over to them. Make a Karnstruck. I guess I have to fetch with all my fetch lands before they trigger this, or else they can needle one of them, maybe. All right, so fetch. Let's just grab as many colors as possible. So I'm missing black and red right now, and I need as much green and blue as possible for other things. So grab Taiga, fetch, grabbing Underground Sea, and then fetch, grab Scrubland. Yeah. All right, Urza Saga resolves, make a 2/2, and then the Saga searches, grabs Pithing Needle. So I guess they needle, what, 3 Fairy or Minskimbu? Yeah, they've named Minskimbu. A Tundra. I was going to say they can't grind, but yeah, I forgot. Urza Saga alone can win the game. No attacks from them. All right, if they're not attacking, then I'm not going to do anything. Ooh, Force of Vigor. Excellent. All right, we'll just keep passing. I think if they don't attack, I honestly just keep holding Force of Vigor until to save myself from like another Urza Saga. Cabal Therapy. Right, well, in that case, let's just kill everything. So this and this. Green, colorless, green, this one. Force of Vigor on these 2. Swords this. All right, Therapy resolves. They named Orcish Bowmasters. All right, they miss. Casts Brainstorm. Opponent fetches. Mystic Sanctuary. Putting Cabal Therapy on top. I guess I may as well surge that. Cast Surgical, targeting Cabal Therapy. Their hand is quite stacked. They just have the 1 Therapy. So they can win next turn if I don't draw an answer. Because they can go Nomad Cephalid, held Force of Will open. Jesus. All right, plays Brainstorm. Plays another land. I'm surprised they're not going to just run out one of their 2 Nomads Encores right now. All right, fetch, grab Trop. Need to draw an answer. Leovold? That doesn't help. All right, well, play Leovold. Attack with Oof. And over to them, and then we're just dead, right? Because then they just go Cephalid, Nomads, Force of Will when I swords it. Nomads, Cephalid Illusionist. Yep. Well, this sucked. We just didn't draw anything until it was too late. Yeah, all right, there's no way out. I'll just concede. Round 4. All right, we're on the play for round 4. Zenith with the Dryad Arbor already in hand sucks, but this hand's good enough to keep otherwise, so I'll keep it. I guess I can also brainstorm the Dryad Arbor back into my deck. All right, Misty, go. Tropical Island, ponder, end step fetch, grab my own trop, cast brainstorm. All right, so we put Dryad Arbor second from the top, and then on the top, doesn't matter because we're drawing it. So, although at this point, I can just Zenith for 1 and grab, yeah, let's just Zenith for 1 and grab Halfling. If they daze this, that's fine. All right, grab Halfling, over to them. Misty Rainforest, Tundra, Swords are Halfling. All right, so another grindy-ass matchup. All right, here's another land. Let's Zenith for 1, grab Halfling, then we'll fetch this, grabbing Taiga, Zenith for 0, grab Dryad Arbor, back to them, plays a land, plays Beanstalk. Okay, so Beanstalk control. So yeah, let's just play an uncounterable Minsc and Boo. Minsc and Boo. All right, they've conceded to that alone. All right, sideboard, they are control. So I want Narset, Spell Pierce, Pyroblast, Veil. I don't think you beat Beanstalks by bringing in enchantment hate. So I think it's just these. And then the cards that are bad are what? Again, Force of Will is just not good in these grindy matchups. So you cut those. And then probably Swords to Plowshares isn't very good. I mean, they almost certainly have like an Uro or something in their deck as a creature threat, but generally these are not going to be good. I guess Endurance is also good for shuffling Uro back and maybe stopping Loam Loops. Cut a Binding. All right, let's run that. I only saw 3 colors, so I don't think... I mean, they could be playing Binding, and I just didn't see more colors. If I see Binding, I'll bring in Seeds and Force. This is fine. Keep. All right. Verdant, fetch. I need to get blue and green, I think. So, Tropical Island, play Halfling, and back to them. Opponent fetches. Savannah. So this is getting swords right now. Yep, there goes the Halfling. Tropical Island. Carpet of Flowers. All right, I can somewhat avoid getting more islands, although I can't forever. Ponder. Chooses to shuffle. All right, cast Brainstorm. All right, we drew Halfling. This is a lot of lands, so I don't want to draw all these lands. So let's put back Island. Yeah, Island, and I can't keep off of islands forever, but let's just put back these for now. And then let's go fetch. Already have a Bayou, so let's go grab Savannah or Taiga. Savannah. So grab Savannah, play Halfling. Back to them. Plays Brainstorm. Tundra. Another Carpet of Flowers. They make blue and white and plays 3 fairy. Okay, then back to the hand for the Halfling. Ponder. So my turn should probably be Uro into the Halfling, still avoiding getting islands for the time being, although I need a second island to get Uro back at some point anyway. All right, so Bayou, play Uro, triggers, draw a card, put Verdant Catacombs into play, then Uro dies, then we fetch, grabbing Taiga, recast the Halfling, over to them. Carpet making red. Okay, well, that means they have Aerolingus, right? Gotta be. Another land. Massive Aerolingus. Yep. Swinging with 3 of them, so I can't get the Monarch back. Take 6, become the Monarch, then Monarch triggers. At least we can get back Uro, although Carpet of Flowers goes ham. Oh, I can also Swords this and just attack them, but then these attack me back, so it's almost certainly better to just get Uro from the graveyard uncounterably, right? I guess if they don't have a counter spell, like, they have to have Force of Will plus blue spell, right? So it's possible they don't. So I need to go get the other island now. So let's grab Tundra and then escape Uro. All right, I mean, if they had Force of Will here, we were not doing well anyway. All right, they didn't. So trigger, no lands to put into play. So Uro's out, and now I can Swords this token, go to combat, attack them with the Halfling, steal the Monarch back. Then they can steal the Monarch back from me, but at least we still have Uro out and can block a token. Maybe, I don't know. If they have swords, we can't. Drew Spell Pierce. And then they get double Carpet with 2 islands in play, which is also a problem. But it's anyone's game right now. It's just going to be really, really, really grindy. Double blue, double white. Ponder. Plus Teferi. Swords Uro. Yep. Plays the land. Brainstorms. Oh no, another Aerolingus. Oh, Minsc and Boo. That's also really bad. All right, plus the Minsc and Boo, or plus the Boo. We're taking 10 damage, and they steal the Monarch back. No, they're not attacking with 2 creatures. Sure. We take 6, go to 17. They steal the Monarch back, and then the Monarch triggers, and then it's our turn. And there's a whole bunch of stuff we have to deal with. We have to deal with their board. We have to kill Teferi. We have to kill Minsc and Boo. Ugh. I probably have to bind this. Bowmaster to deal 1 here. So let's Brainstorm. Okay, Spell Pierce doesn't work as long as Teferi's in play. They also have a boatload of mana. So let's put Spell Pierce back, and let's put back... I don't know what else. What am I doing next? I'm going bind this, and then I have 4 mana remaining. with which I can play. I have to get Teferi not to be able to tick down and bounce Binding as well. That's the other problem. So I have to play Bowmasters. I'm going to draw this stuff anyway. So let's put a Teferi back. Let's play Bowmasters first. So blacken this, targeting Teferi, and then Binding Minskenboo. I probably should use my mana right now, right? Yeah, I guess just Brainstorm again. Drew Wasteland. That doesn't help either. All right, this back, play Wasteland, and then just pass to them. We can get out of this. It's just going to take a lot. Making red and white. If it's just another Aerolingus, then we're dead. Minskenboo is also probably dead. Yeah, the only reason to be tapping this much is Aerolingus. Of course it is. All right, concede. Game 3, same deal. I guess I want Binding more than Swords. All right, let's run this. On the play. This hand's not very good, but what are you going to do? Zenithing for Dryad Orb is not even good here, right? I guess what is this hand? It's just hold up counterspell and then eventually try to resolve a bigger of Zenith for 4. That seems so mediocre. Let's mold this. All right, that seems way better. Let's put back Veil because I think I'm probably going to be able to land this to Fairy. Although maybe not, but let's go for it. So fetch Savannah, play Delighted Halfling, Plains, immediately get Swords. All right, well, so now we're just going to Zenith for another one. Yeah, all right, so Misty, fetch, Underground Sea, Zenith for 1. Grab another Halfling, go. Misty Rainforest, and it looks like they're not doing anything. Okay, so yeah, best move is get Teferi into play. So uncounterable, cast a Fairy. If I minus right now, the only thing that kills it is Aerolingus, which is okay because it means they don't get the Monarch. All right, so minus on nothing, draw. Back over to them. Opponent fetches, Volcanic Island. Oh, Pyroblast? Sure. See, pays off to minus it immediately most of the time. Plays another land, fetches, Tropical Island. All right, end of turn, Brainstorm. What am I playing? Probably an uncounterable Leovold followed by Bowmasters, which means I need Wasteland in play. So that back, that back. All right, Wasteland, and then we need to tap in such a way that we still have Bowmaster mana up. So black, green, blue, cast Leovold. All right, over to them. Flooded Strand, opponent fetches, Savannah, casts Teferi. So Teferi on the stack, flash in Bowmasters. Target you, always yield to Bowmasters. All right, Teferi resolves. Targeting Leovold, always yes to Leovold, always yield to Leovold. So we draw a card, then they bounce Leovold, then Bowmasters triggers and kills Teferi off. Okay, think we're doing all right. Very much inclined to just Uro here. I guess I can play Uro and Leovold, right? So land, so Uro, tap colorless, green, blue, Uro, triggers, can't play that. All right, Minskenboo's a great draw though. So this dies, then we fetch. Taiga's the last color that we need, so grab Taiga, then uncounterable Leovold, play Leovold, go to combat, attack with the orcs. And then next turn we can either Minskenboo or get Uro back. Swords to Plowshares, targeting the Bowmaster. Draw from Leovold. We drew Teferi. All right, Bowmasters dies. Plays Teferi. Okay. Bounces Leovold, which also causes us to draw. Okay, land. I have a total of 7 mana, which means I can play Teferi uncounterably and also Uro and still kill this. So tap, uncounterable, blue, white, play Teferi. All right, they have conceded to that. On to round number 5. What a grind that game was. All right, we're on the play for round 5. All right, this hand doesn't have any ramp, but it does have a Brainstorm to help fix us. So I'll keep. So first land we're going to fetch is Tundra, and then presumably just Brainstorm. Misty Rainforest for our opponent. Bayou. Thoughtseize. All right, well, we'll respond. Tundra, Brainstorm. Okay, so I don't want them taking Minskenboo. Man, this is rough, isn't it? I don't want them taking Zenith either. So I definitely need to hide Zenith. But the problem is if I hide Zenith and then put Minskenboo back as well, and then I Zenith next turn, then Boo gets shuffled. So that being the case, I think I definitely put back Zenith. So what's the other card? I mean, they could take Minskenboo. That wouldn't be awful. Let's put back, I don't know what they are. They could be Nickfit. They could be Storm. So let's put back Swords, Zenith. All right. And then that can, I guess, I could still force it, right? And then have a guaranteed Minskenboo on turn 3. Yeah, I probably should just go ahead and force it. So force, pitching, force. I should just not give them the option to make me discard Minskenboo. All right. Bayou, Zenith for 1. Grabbing Delighted Halfling. Back to them. Island. Okay, so not Nickfit. Well, let's run out Minskenboo. Red, green, this one, trigger, put some counters here, go to combat, swing, and step Codal. Huh, all right. Are they like Aluren? Or just Sultai value? Ponder. Forest. They did shuffle. Codal attacks Minskin Boo down to 3, sure. Back to us. So do not put another hamster into play. I'm going to draw a whole bunch off of this. So let's go to combat, swing here. If they flash in Bowmasters, then I just Bowmasters it in response. All right, land, minus, sack the hamster, target them. Flashing in Bowmasters, sure. So they'll kill Minskin Boo, which is okay. So Minskin Boo gets targeted, and then we're going to respond with our own Bowmasters, target their Bowmasters, then resolve this ability. Their Bowmasters dies, our Minskin Boo dies, resolve the Minskin Boo ability, draw 4 cards. All right, let's play an uncounterable Leovold. So fetch, Taiga, so green, blue, black, Leovold, over to them. So they just absolutely cannot draw any more cards. Tropical Island, swing with both. So you got another Bowmasters that you're going to target my stuff with, I guess. Yeah, so just no blocks, that's fine. 4 mon, oh, it is Aluren. Cavern Harpy. Okay, but you can't draw anymore, so sure. What is triggering right now? Oh, they're just casting a Bowmasters. Hey. And the problem is if I keep drawing, then they keep triggering their Bowmasters. What are they targeting? They're targeting Leovold. Okay, so I'll just choose not to draw. Okay, then their Bowmasters resolves. Then Cavern Harpies resolves. Oh, but they can get it off the field. Although they are limited on life. So they can Bowmasters our Leovold to death, but it costs them 3 life to do it. Okay, nope. Bounce it back to their hand. Cavern Harpy, Bowmasters, target the Leovold. No. So Leovold finally dies. Bowmasters back to hand. So Cavern Harpy bounce. I guess I'll just flash in Hull Breacher right now. Okay, I have no more actions that I can take, so this finishes up. Kills our Bowmasters. Bounce Cavern Harpy, Bowmasters. All right, Hull Breacher finally dies. Strix, and now they only have 3 life left, so unless they found Uro, then I think we're good. Okay, so they have enough blockers to where this is a problem. I can Zenith for what? Just Leovold again, prevents them from winning. Although the 7/7 Orc's a problem. I guess it's not, I have Leyline Binding. So I should probably just Leyline Binding the Aluren, right? So they can't keep bouncing stuff. All right, let's see how they respond. Cast Leyline Binding. Target Aluren. They just allowed it to get hit. Okay. So if I Zenith for Uro, it gives them 1 trigger on the Bowmasters, which can be used to kill Orc. But then we're at a high enough life total that I think we can beat this back. So that being the case, I should attack with the Orc first. So combat, swing with the Orc, blocks with Strix, sure. So the problem is like, okay, if I grab Leovold, it prevents them from winning. I grab Leovold, they can't win anymore because they can't do their like Uro Harpy loops even if they draw Aluren, and then I just bind the token next turn. They have to have exactly another Aluren plus Uro in order to get out of this. All right, so let's Zenith. I guess I could Wasteland them too. That would also keep them off of it, potentially. X is 3. Bounces Harpy in response. Okay. Oh, they have Force of Will. Sure. All right, let's just Wasteland them off of Bayou. All right. So I assume they'll attack with just the Orc and nothing else. Ponder. And then we just bind the Orc. Ugh. Chose not to shuffle. Prismatic Vista, which they can't activate. So confused there. All right, let's just stop them on upkeep and bind the token. Actually, let's see. If I attack, this doesn't have Death Touch yet, so I can actually attack here. All right. I guess I can only attack if they don't have an answer or whatever. Swing with the Halfling. Blocks with Codal. Oh, just double blocks? Yeah, oh, I forgot about that. That makes sense. Well, let's just... No, not double blocking. Yes, double blocking. All right, let's kill Bowmaster. So that dies, and then... All right, binding. Eat your token. All right, token is gone, and now we're both top deck mode, but they're at 1 life. 7. Oh, come on. Uro, come on. The exact card they need to get back in the game so that they can gain the life to use Vista and then escape it next turn. All right, fetch. Let's grab a Savannah. And we're drawing nothing. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, back to them. Codal. Fetches with Vista. Uro mana. Gets Uro back. All right, thin the deck. I don't know. Underground Sea. I guess I could technically have grabbed Dryad Arbor to block this. Brainstorm. All right, Brainstorm. Oh, and they have Force of Will on top of that? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Aluren. Narset. Force of Vigor to kill Aluren at instant speed. Pyroblast kills a lot of their stuff. Spell Pierce for Aluren. They're running their own counter spells, which means Veil's good. So what is not good? Everything's good. And they're not strictly a combo deck because they can win with Uro. All right. Well, I think Force of Will is better than Force of Vigor because it hits everything, whereas this only hits Aluren and nothing else. So I can get rid of that. And then these games might go long. Don't need Spell Pierce. But that's still 4 cards. Screw it. No forces. Just try to win grindy games. And then we still have answers to stuff, even if they resolve Aluren. Ugh. All right, we're on the plate. This is fine. Keep this. Misty, go. A forest. I meant to brainstorm there. I accidentally clicked through. Okay, well, double Bowmasters is pretty good. So let's back to them. Underground Sea. And now we get to play the wonderful game of who's going to Bowmaster first. Ay. All right, let's keep passing. Land. Pass. Misty Rainforest. All right, now I'm going to act first. Fetch. Grab Savannah. Bowmasters. Target you. All right, we make an Orc token. I'm not taking any more actions this turn. Cool. All right, back to us. Go to combat. Swing. Continue to play the game of chicken. Opponent fetches. Snow Island. Abrupt Decay on our guy. Respond with Veil. All right, we draw. They can't target. Or rather, it becomes countered. Okay, back to them. And now they're under some pressure to act. Plays Aluren. Let's brainstorm with that on the stack. So brainstorm. Because I'm not countering it, so let's just allow it to resolve, but just get more creatures. Wow, that's awful. All right, 2 lands go back. Fetch. Grab Tundra. Brainstorm again. All right, can't cast anything else anyway, so put this back, put this back. Very well, Aluren resolves. Cavern Harpy, sure. Trigger. Uro. Trigger on the stack. Let's flash in Bowmasters, and then target them. All right, so trigger. Target you. Target you. All right, they have to flash in Cavern Harpy and then pick Uro back up. So technically, because the Harpy also requires a life payment, they're life neutral, but they can keep playing Uro and drawing their whole deck, so we still lose. Then they pick up Cavern Harpy, Uro. Yep. Baleful Strix. Sure. They could have just kept looping Uro over and over. They don't need to play anything else. Uro, Legend Rule. Trigger. This is quite the stack. Uro, and then this stuff keeps happening. It won't let me auto-yield to this stuff because it's technically a new object every time. That's so obnoxious. All right, whatever. So I have to keep passing priority. I guess I could technically F6 through this. All right, yeah, let's just F6 through this. It's fine. Oh, look at all these abilities on the stack. They're brainstorming? Why? All right, so they finally found their Bowmasters. Have you ever seen so many things on the stack before? All right, they're just shooting us now, so we can just concede here. Alrighty then. Well, that was a last game for sure. 3-2. Yeah, this deck's fine. Like, it's just essentially another variation of, instead of being Beanstalk Control, it's just essentially another type of just value all the color soup deck. Maybe you could quibble over, like, does the deck need Hull Breacher and 2 Leovolds? Does the deck need Slowgurk? Like, how good is Slowgurk actually? We never really saw it in action except one time, and then it was just dead. But yeah, other than that, that was Zenith.